Welcome to the Quality of Love podcast. I am your host, Tyrone Dixon, nationally certified life and relationship coach, husband, father to two beautiful princesses, and CEO and founder of a Rose to Concrete Consulting. Thank you guys for taking the time out to listen in with us tonight. We really appreciate it. You've made it to another hump day, so you guys already know what that means. It's another Wednesday question and answer episode. And let me just preface this episode by saying my apologies. Last week was a hectic one for me. I thought I would be able to release a show, but I didn't end up having the time. A couple of things that went on for me last week include my anniversary, which was last Wednesday, and my wife's birthday, which was last Friday. So we had a really, really good time celebrating. As I've mentioned on the podcast in the past, one of the things I want to do going forward is take any of like my important birthdays, important holidays, and things like that off to make sure I'm being fully present and attentive to my family. And you guys know my family, number one, right? So I took last week off, so I apologize to anyone that was listening or looking to listen to an episode last week, but we're back. So no need to worry, no need for any concerns. We're right back in action, and we have a great list of questions for you guys this week. But as you guys know already, we start off with our question and answers, or I should say we start off with our quotes. And this quote, if you follow me on any of my social media handles, mainly Facebook, I'm very, very big on quotes, guys. I love them. They get me through my day sometimes, especially when I'm having a rough day or when I just need that extra bit of motivation and that little boost to get me by. And on last week, I started kind of going back to basics and sharing quotes on Facebook, which was encouraged by one of my very good friends. And I figure the quote that I share on Facebook on Mondays, I'm going to try is the key word there. Try to continue to be consistent with my quotes on Monday so people have a good week to start off with. And my last Monday quote, which was really, really well received, was an extensive part of loving yourself is knowing when to let go of the people who don't. Again, that quote is an extensive part of loving yourself is knowing when to let go of the people who don't. And you guys heard me say this at the end of the show, in most cases, in any interview that I'm on, the quality of love and relationships that you have in your life really does determine the quality of your life. In my personal opinion, it's what I feel, it's what I believe, it's how I've been operating over the course of the last couple of years. So that quote is, for me, it was a different way of saying that. And again, an extensive part of loving yourself is knowing when to let go of people who don't, right? And that's relationship inventories, that's understanding and having a self-awareness of a mutually beneficial relationship. All of those things are encompassing. And I know it can be difficult to let go of someone that you love, or to let go of someone that you feel like you had a great relationship with. But when we think about it and we talk about it, one of the biggest parts of loving yourself, or self-love, if you're practicing it properly, is making sure you don't have negative people in your lives. So I love that quote. I'm excited about getting back to sharing quotes with you guys. So you guys can look forward to seeing some quotes that I've written down here recently on my Facebook page every Monday, right? To start the week off in a good way, keep you guys moving, keep you guys motivated, and, get you through the week. Let's get into our questions from our relationship and mental health side of things first. Question number one. Why do I feel this overwhelming sadness? Trying to make things work with my boyfriend who has mentally, emotionally, and physically abused me. I see small changes in him, but now things just aren't the same. Once again, that question is, why do I feel this overwhelming sadness? Trying to make things work with my boyfriend who has mentally, emotionally, and physically abused me. I see small changes in him, but now things just aren't the same. I think what you're experiencing in this situation in particular is the neurological pathways that you used to have for this gentleman that were firing off, that made him attractive to you, that made him feel like he can meet every need you have and feel like he can be accommodating to you and be in a lasting relationship with you. As time has gone on, right, the physical abuse, the emotional abuse, all of these things mental abuse have taken its toll on you, more or less, right? And because the abuse has gone on for a sustained period of time, you no longer feel the way that you felt about him. And that's where I say those neurological pathways are no longer firing in his direction. right? This can be a very, very difficult spot in a relationship. I like to call it the doing so much that you feel like you don't want to move on, but you've done enough to know that you need to move on, right? Because this relationship isn't healthy for you. It's not beneficial to you in the long run. And I know that can be difficult to hear, even more difficult to process because I'm sure you've given a lot of yourself to this gentleman. But at the end of the day, if you continue to force the relationship and you continue to move forward in the manner that it seems like you're moving forward now, you'll continue to not only not love him, but when in the absence of love comes resentment, right? So you'll start to feel resentment towards this man for all of the abuse that he's put you through over the years, and you'll start to hate him, right? So right now you're at a critical spot, kind of in the middle of loving this gentleman and having resentment towards him, which is a good spot to end the relationship. As you continue to move forward, regardless of what changes he makes in the relationship, you'll harbor those feelings of how he made you feel in the past, right? And you'll get triggered by particular instances or situations that just, it's not healthy, right, for you in the long run. If you feel like you've been abused to the extent in which you no longer feel the same way about this gentleman, let him know that, wish him the best of luck, but let your spirit be free again, right? If you stay in that relationship, if you stick around with this gentleman, I do fear that you will start to build resentment towards him and eventually resentment towards yourself for sticking around in a relationship that you knew wasn't meeting your needs in the long run. Question number 2. He cheated on me. I just found out. Should I leave him now or wait for our anniversary, which is in 20 days? Again, that question is, he cheated on me. I just found out. Should I leave him now or wait for our anniversary, which is in 20 days? I think you should let him know now. The only reason I say that is because if you wait to 20 days is a long time to feel some type of way, I like to call it. And if you wait until that time comes, I feel like you might explode on him and it might not come out in the healthiest manner, right? You might put your hands on him, you might cut him, stab him, and I do not encourage violence in any way, shape, or form. But 20 days of harbored anger, frustration, embarrassment, annoyance, that's a lot of emotions to kind of fester within you for over the course of 20 days. So in my personal opinion, I feel like you should let them know now. Just tell them what it is, and then look to move on, right? Look for the lesson that you need to learn in that relationship or that you needed to learn in that relationship and then move on. If you wait for the 20 days, it's just, again, personal concern that I feel like you'll have so much emotion build up by that point in time that you'll explode and it won't be beneficial to either one of you in the long run, right? And I've seen that. I've seen it. I've seen women kind of wait and wait to a perfect time or a special time to tell men that they don't want to be with them anymore. They found out that they've been cheating. And it's never, in my personal, again, view, perspective, it's never come out in a healthy way that made the woman feel better afterwards. It probably made her feel better temporarily, but in the long run, it didn't make her feel better. So tell them now. It's a difficult conversation to have, but I would prefer that you get the emotions out of you sooner rather than later before you have them build up and explode. Question number 3. How do I cope with the fact that my girlfriend cheated with another woman? Once again, that question is, how do I cope with the fact that my girlfriend cheated with another woman? In this instance, I think that it's similar to if your girlfriend cheated on you with a man. The feelings are the same, right? So what you feel, there's no denying that, right? Whether it's frustration, embarrassment, humiliation, loneliness, whatever the emotion is, it's typically the same, whether your girlfriend cheated on you with a woman or a man. So first thing you want to do is you acknowledge that emotion, right? That it's hurtful, it's painful, whatever it is, whatever your emotions. I don't want to label any of your emotions, but whatever emotion that you're feeling now, make sure you express it to your partner, all right? And let her know that that really made you feel some type of way. And then after you've expressed that to her, ask her what need are you not meeting in that relationship, right? So what would make her step outside of your relationship and want to seek something from someone else, right? Whether it was a man or a woman, because typically when we talk about cheating and things along those lines, it's tied to boredom, it's tied to not having a need being met by your partner, or not feeling like your partner is able to meet a need, right? So I think you want to break down that wall. And then once that happens, once you break down that wall, if you're able to, then have a conversation with her about why she felt that it was okay to cheat with another woman, right? And then not let you know, because there's also, in my personal opinion, there's some deeply rooted stuff there that would make her feel comfortable cheating or stepping outside with another woman, especially if she's never done it before, right? That's and it's something new. If she has done it before and maybe you're not aware of that, you guys can talk about that and have that conversation too. But it's the same. It's the same feeling. Don't feel like it would be worse or feel different because it's a woman, or it should be a man, whatever the case may be. Those feelings are still the same. They're universal across the line. You usually feel lonely, hurt, embarrassed, ashamed, all of those type of things that when you commit to another person, you don't typically think that they're going to cheat on you or step outside the relationship, whether that's a man or a woman. Question number 4. I am currently in a serious relationship that's healthy and good. We live together, and I'm learning about the aspects of being the man of the house. I know all the heavy lifting is not required by me simply because I am a man, but I am feeling slightly overwhelmed at times. Do you have any advice? Once again, that question is, I am currently in a serious relationship that's healthy and good. We live together, and I am learning about the aspects of being the man of the house. I know all of the heavy lifting is not required by me simply because I am a man, but I am feeling slightly overwhelmed at times. Do you have any advice? I think first things first, we as men, we get so stuck in societal roles, in the idea of a man is supposed to do this and a woman is supposed to do that, that there are times where we neglect our own feelings, and we neglect our own kind of situation and what's going on within us. And that doesn't do anything beneficial for the relationship, in the long run, for you or your partner, right? So the first thing that I would invite you to do is have a conversation with your partner or your significant other and express to them that you're feeling slightly overwhelmed because you're battling an old belief system, right? Which means that men should do this and women should do that, with a new belief system that, frankly, at this point in time, the traditional household cannot exist. It cannot be functional within our society now because, the cost of living is so high that to really expect a woman to only be at home cooking, taking care of the kids, and the man to be out, not working 9 to 5, and then coming back home and still have that quality of life that we were sold is not realistic, right? So first things first, tell her that you're struggling with the societal expectations that you've grown up seeing or that you guys have carried into the relationship currently. And then the second thing that I would do is invite you to have a conversation with her that's centered around asking these questions. What type of expectations do you have for a man in a relationship? What roles have you seen a man play in a relationship before? And were those roles absolutely geared towards a man, right? So when I say absolutely geared towards a man, that means there's no women that are able or capable of doing this job at all. Same thing. What roles, or I should say, third question is the same thing. What roles have you seen females in or women in growing up? And what expectations did they have kind of in your surroundings or by your guardians? And I share that with you guys. It's an exercise that I do, actually. One of my favorite exercises is to do when I'm, well, it's been so long since we've been in person. I got to start getting my virtual thing on with my relationship coaching. But it's one of the things that I invite couples to do or singles to do when I do relationship workshops. And the idea is to kind of gather your beliefs that you saw growing up, right? So what you saw growing up, and compare them to what's really going on right now in your adult life. And in most cases, people find that some of their subconscious beliefs about men and women are off, right? Men can clean and cook and take care of a home if necessary, and women can go out and get money and chase the bag, so to speak, as my nephew likes to say. Very similar to men, right? So a lot of those traditional roles and societal beliefs are not beneficial to us anymore, given the new society that we live in. So sit down with her, Ask those couple of questions. And then once you ask those questions and have an idea of what kind of roles and expectations that she has of men, do that same exact exercise for yourself, right? And ask, what are your roles and expectations that you have of men, right? What did you see growing up? What roles do you believe to be absolute truth? Again, meaning that only men can do this, no women ever can do this. And then once you guys get both a firm understanding of the expectation that you saw for men and women growing up, have a conversation about that, right? And then I I can almost guarantee you, I won't say I guarantee you because people will try to purposely prove me wrong, but I can almost guarantee you once you get all of this information on paper, you guys will start to see exactly what I'm saying. Traditional roles are not necessarily beneficial for relationships now, and I don't even know if they were ever beneficial for any relationships in the past, right? Because the society has changed over time, and the cost of living is incredible. So you guys need to collaborate on a lifestyle that works for you both, and not kind of follow those roles of a traditional man or a traditional woman. Question number 5. My girlfriend gave me a free pass to cheat. I took it. Now she wants one. I don't want her to. What should I do? Once again, that question is, my girlfriend gave me a free pass to cheat. I took it. Now she wants one. I don't want her to. What should I do? I would say and this is actually, I'm gonna just say what's on my mind. I've been keeping it real with you guys for 46 question and answer episodes. So I'm gonna keep it real for 47 here. What I would do is I would not allow her, if you don't, first of all, if you don't want to do something, you shouldn't do it. I would not allow her to do that, or I would tell her that I wouldn't want her to do it. But I think there's a deeper thing going on here, if I can venture off to say it. And I would imagine that you would be okay with me venture off to say it because you asked the question. But why would someone want to give you a free pass to cheat if you didn't ask for one, right? So that would be my question that I'm asking you personally. And I'm asking you this question because I want you to start thinking a little deeper, that maybe your girlfriend kind of had this all laid out to begin with, right? So she wanted you to get a free pass and cheat just like you did, just so that she can cheat or get a free pass and expect for you to say yes, right? So you got to start to be a little more proactive in trying to assess what the reasoning behind something like that is, because it's been my personal experience that women that do things like that, they already have in their mind that they want to cheat or they want to step outside their relationship. They just need an excuse to do so, and you definitely provided an excuse to do so. Because now, even if you say no, I don't want you to do that, one of the arguments that'll happen in your household is that, well, you did it, right? Or I gave you a free pass, and you just, for me personally, I don't think you want to open up that can of worms in any type of committed relationship. If it's a relationship where you guys are open and it's no commitment to one another, go crazy, do that. But if you guys are in a committed relationship and your girlfriend asks you to use if you want a free pass out of nowhere, which is random in itself, you take the free pass. Please expect that and know that your girlfriend already has an idea that she wants that as well. So if it's not something that you will want for her, you got to be proactive in assessing those type of things and those type of questions. Women are highly intelligent, so they tend to think a few steps ahead. And I think you found yourself in a situation where your girlfriend was thinking a few steps ahead, and she wants to step out of the relationship. Not that she doesn't want to be with you, but she wants to step outside of the relationship. So one of the last things I'll say or offer up to you is maybe consider an open relationship too. If this is something that's reoccurring, I'm assuming there's some type of need that isn't being met within the bedroom, sexually, whatever the case may be. So if you love her and you're digging everything else about her, consider an open relationship. Again, I know society tends to tell us like, no, that's not good, blah, blah, blah. But you have to do what works for you, right? And if you love this woman, you really care about her, and everything else is going well, then consider an open relationship. It might enhance and create a little more depth to your love and your relationship. All right, let's touch on this insight from a former narcissist. Question number one. How does a narcissist react when you tell him it's over? Once again, that question is, how does a narcissist react when you tell them it's over? In most cases, I've seen narcissists kind of get defensive, and it depends on like the degree of seriousness that you have. So if you are really serious and they feel like you're serious, you might see a narcissist revert back to some of their beginning of the relationship behaviors, where they're being really really charming, really just open. I won't say honest, just open, having dialogue, making you feel valued and appreciated. And don't fall for that ploy, because what it is that they understand that this may be the end of the line, and now they're gonna try to put their best foot forward, which is never sustainable, right? They're only temporarily, able to put their best foot forward to make themselves seem better than what they really are. The other instances in which I've seen a narcissist reaction to being told that it's over is that they tend not to believe you, right? So they don't believe you, and if you aren't serious, they turn your words against you, right? And it becomes a situation in which they'll continue to use the fact that you said you don't love them or you no longer want to be with them as a ploy to keep you kind of under their wing and in their control, right? So you got to be very very careful when you talk to a narcissist and you tell them it's over. If it's not over really, and you think that you might kind of still have some feeling for them, or you might come back to them at some point in time, don't kid yourself or don't fool yourself, because this person is well aware of the fact that you're not serious or you are serious. All right. So based off of those reactions, you can tell where the narcissist kind of feels that you are in terms of your seriousness. Question number two. How long does it typically take for a narcissist to get bored of a new relationship and start devaluing? Once again, that question is, how long does it typically take for a narcissist to get bored of a new relationship and start devaluing? I think it's dependent upon the individual. We've talked about supplies here quite a bit. And again, I got to give my disclosure. A supply in terms of a narcissistic relationship is an individual that a narcissist can use up and is not aware of narcissistic traits, or is not aware of the fact that the narcissist is using and isolating them in some way, shape, or form. And I just think it depends on the supply in that instance. If a supply is someone who wisens up relatively quickly and starts to challenge and kind of push back on the narcissistic way of thinking and some of their characteristics and traits, the devaluing can start pretty quickly. If the narcissist is someone who falls for the charm, or not the narcissist, excuse me, if the supply is an individual who falls for the narcissistic charm, or feels like this person is the one and they kind of use the love tinted glasses, as I like to say, then that can be a while, right? That relationship can last a long time. Just to give you kind of an idea, I've seen narcissistic relationships that where a supply was not aware that they were being groomed by a narcissist last for 50 years. And then I've seen narcissistic relationships in which the supply realized she was groomed or he was being groomed last for a couple of months, right? So it's really dependent upon the supply and how quickly they wisen up to some of the narcissistic traits. Question number three. What does it mean when a narcissist breaks up with you instead of you breaking up with them? Once again, that question is, what does it mean when a narcissist breaks up with you instead of you breaking up with them? Excuse me. I think that means that they found a new supply, right? There's somebody else that they found that they can use and abuse and get away with it, or who won't challenge them or question them as much as you're doing or as you've done. And that's, in that instance, those are the only situations in which a narcissist would leave you, right? So if you're now hit to a narcissism and hit to kind of their personality, they're going to look to find someone else that's not as hip to their personality, is not as hip to narcissism. And as soon as they find that person and they feel secure in that they got that person under their wing, they'll break up with you and they'll cut it off right away, pretty much right away. One of the things that you can do, and I love talking to clients about this, one of the things that you can do actually to tell if this narcissistic person has a new supplier or not, is if they go no contact, right? So if they, after they broke up with you, they don't have any words with you, you text them, they don't respond, any of those type of things, that is a clear indicator that they found a new supply. And please chuck the deuces to that, right? And let them know, like, okay, thank you. This is my opportunity to not be under this narcissistic person. Question number 4. When does a narcissist stop antagonizing, or do they ever sleep? Once again, that question is, when does a narcissist stop antagonizing, or do they ever sleep? I'm going to assume that you mean this in a figurative kind of perspective and not a literal, because everybody needs sleep, right? But in figuratively speaking, when we talk about narcissists, they're always training and thinking about how they can take advantage of you. So to answer your question, they never sleep. They're always thinking about how they can take advantage of someone, how they can one up somebody, or how they can end up winning an argument or something along those lines. Always constantly thinking in a self-centered, self-righteous type of manner, and always manipulating, always maneuvering, always trying to take advantage of you. That's a clear sign that that narcissistic person is really, really stuck in their ways and committed to being a narcissist at that point in time, right? So when we talk about, do they ever sleep? Do they ever like stop thinking about being mean or being controlling, being manipulating? The answer is no, right? It's just as much a part of their being as waking up and taking a shower or waking up and making a cup of coffee, right? It's literally a part of who they are, and they can't hide it, right? It's something that it's the way they function, it's how their brain works. It's just what it is, right? So if you're expecting them to turn the narcissism off at some point in time, it's not a realistic expectation. Question number 5. Can I ever be friends with my ex who has narcissistic traits? My guess is no. Once again, that question is, can I ever be friends with my ex who has narcissistic traits? My guess is no. I would say your guess is right, right? This person isn't going to change unless something happens in which that kind of jars their memory. I have to stop saying this person isn't going to change, by the way, because I'm living proof of narcissistic change, right? So I got to stop putting that out there, putting that negative energy out there. This person probably isn't going to change anytime soon. So I would say your guess is correct, right? And I would look at that as a victory for you, because to constantly have to deal with an ex who is a narcissist means that you're constantly kind of navigating their loop and trying to stay out of their way, because at any point in time, a narcissistic ex can try to get you back under their wings, try to put on their charm, and try to make you feel like they made a mistake, and at this point in time, they'll be better and they'll do better, and so on and so forth. All a part of the charm, all characteristics and traits that are common with narcissism, all of that good stuff. So I would invite you to be mindful of that. And if your ex is truly ready to be friends and you really want to be friends with them, make sure they're in a spot where they're taking care of your needs and they're placing your needs as a priority, right? Because even as friends, you should place your friends' needs as a priority. If you're a good friend, right? Or if you want a mutually beneficial friendship. And finally, question number 6. Will a family member of a narcissist try to tell you things that the narcissist has done? Once again, that question is, will family members of narcissists tell you what, or I should say, try to tell you things that the narcissist has done? Yes, absolutely. If they are genuine, I'll say, right? Because in a lot of cases, most family members, as with a lot of different kind of personality disorders, they'll just go along with it, right? So they'll say things like, oh, he or she's been that way forever. That's just how they are. It's just who they are. But you will have those family members from time to time that say, hey, listen, are you sure you want to be involved in a relationship with this person? Because here are some of the characteristics they're displayed. Or coming from a family member, it might sound like, oh, this person is really mean. This person is really rude. This person is really self-centered, right? If you have a family member of a lover, significant other, whatever it is, that's telling you things about this person and they align with some of the behavior that you've seen out of this person, listen to them, right? They've known that person much longer than you. They've known about their personality much longer than you. and they know that in a lot of cases they're narcissistic, right? So listen to that person. As long as, again, the actions that your significant other is displaying aligns with what the family member is telling you, take that into consideration, because there are cases in which family members just throw each other under the bus, right? Family feel bitter and resentment as well. So there are times in which family members throw each other under the bus. So as long as those actions and what they're telling you are aligning with what your significant other is doing, then I would say, yeah, take that advice as often as you can, because you don't want to end up in a situation in which you're setting yourself up for a lasting relationship, and then boom, the narcissistic person appears in its truest form, right? That's all we have for you guys tonight. Remember, you guys are more than welcome to hit us up at tqlp20@gmail.com with any questions that you guys have for relationships, mental health, insight from a former narcissist. We cover it all, right? We cover it all. Man, it's been great. I appreciate you guys so much. I can't tell you how much love I've gotten over the course of the past couple of months in regards to the quality of love. So I appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, give feedback. Any feedback is welcome. We're still trying to improve, right? There's always room to improve, right? So we're still trying to do that. So give us your feedback. We don't take feedback negatively, right? I've been told feedback is my friend, so we don't take it negatively. So please feel free to share, subscribe, like, and if it helps with friends or any family members, send them over to our email. Again, that's all we have for you guys tonight. But remember, the quality of love and relationships that you have in your life will determine the quality of your life. Peace and love.